Welcome once again. Today we're going to be looking at a double check. Okay. We're looking at this puzzle was taken from Igor Shushkin's book, Chess Champ Tactics in Attack and Defense, volume 6. All right, so we're on puzzle number 19, and we are looking at a double check. First of all, let's start with the definition. A double check is a tactic where a player puts their opponent's king in check with two pieces simultaneously. Let's look at our position here. Remember, as chess players, the first thing we do when we are looking at a position is we count the material. We look at the position and count the material. We want to see who's got how many points. So here we have a rook, which is 5, bishop, which is 3, so that's 8 plus 1, that's 9. All right, 9 and 9. And then here we have black has got a queen, so that's 9 plus 1 pawn, 10, plus 3 pawns, that's 13, plus a knight, that's 16. Okay, so it's 12 versus so black has got 16 points and white has got 12 points. So we can say in this situation black has got a slight advantage. Okay, but now once we have noticed that, we then look at our position and say what tactic can we use to gain an advantage in this position. All right, what tactic can we use? So we go to our position and we look at our black king. There's our black king on e8 here, and we look, it's in the same line with our rook here, which is on e1. all right, so in other words, if this bishop wasn't here, this bishop on e4 wasn't there, this rook on e1 would be giving check. All right, so if we move this bishop to any square, it would reveal a check on our black king. Okay, so we can also notice that this white bishop, if we move it to this square here, if you move it to this square c6, it will give check on the black king. All right, it would give check on a black king. And remember, we said a double check is a tactic where a player puts their opponent's king in check with two different pieces. All right, so in this position, if I move this bishop here to c6, the bishop on c6 is giving check to the king on e8. All right, so that's the first check there. The bishop on c6 is giving check to the king on e8. The second check is the rook here on e1 is giving check to the king on e8. So you have two pieces giving check to the black king. So in this situation, there is no real way for black to block those two checks. The only way he can do that is to move his king. So let's say he moves his king here. Also notice black cannot capture this bishop because two pieces are will be checking his king, so he definitely has to move. So let's say black moves to d8. He leaves the bishop, which is now attacking the queen on a4. The bishop can now capture the queen on a4. So that's the idea behind a double check. Okay, so a double check is simply a tactic where a player puts their opponent's king in check with two pieces at the same time. So that's a double check. Let's go on to another puzzle, which all right, let's open puzzle number 21. All right, puzzle number 21. So this is puzzle number 21 from Ishugo Shushkin's book. Puzzle number 21. Puzzle number 21. We're looking at basically the same theme. We have a rook on b1 and we have a pawn on b4. We have a knight on d3. All right, and those are the main pieces here. And then we look at black's position. Black has got a queen and a rook and a queen and a knight. Sorry, black has a queen and a knight, and white has a rook and a knight. All right, so black is leading by 4 points. Okay, so basically this is queen against rook, but black is leading by 4 points because a queen is 9 points and then a rook is 5 points. So in this position, it's white's turn to move. We want to find a tactic that will help us to gain the advantage. Okay, so we have this rook here on b1. So if this rook on b1 is in the same line with the king on b6, all right, so meaning if this pawn was out of the way, this rook on b1 would be giving check to the king on b6. At the same time, if this pawn here captures on c5, it would give check to the king on b6, all right, and it would be protected by the knight on d3. So let me show you what I'm trying to say. Let's capture, all right. The rook on b1 is giving check to the king on b6. The pawn on c5 is giving check to the king on b6. So that is a double check. We have two pieces giving check at the same time. So black cannot capture this pawn on c5 because the pawn is protected by the knight on d3. All right, so the pawn is being protected by the knight on b3, so the king cannot capture it. So the only move that the black king can do is to run away. So black can either run away here to this square, or he could come here to this square here. Right, so let's say he comes to a6, then we could then complete the puzzle by capturing this the queen on d6. Okay, all right, so that is all on a